today's restoration vlog. You might find some continuity errors in this video, but bear with me because the restoration took 2 years. Making this video took 6 years. Let's get started. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my 1962 Austin Mini. As you can see, the car was in pretty bad shape when I got it in terms of rust and mechanically as well. Since it was a Karachi car, there was bound to be a lot of rust, but there were literal holes in the body panels inside and outside. The car had a 660cc Japanese engine, the carbureted one, and had a lot of problems, so that had to go. The interior was okay-ish because there wasn't a lot going on in the interior, as you can see. That's Jawad who helped me shoot this sequence. Hello, Jawad. So the first thing I did with the car, which was probably a mistake, was I got the windows buffed, because when the car went through the restoration process, the windows got scratched pretty bad again, but they were in pretty bad nick, so I had to get this done first of all. After that, it was off to the denters, since the major work the car required was bodywork. It took almost 6 months to complete the denting process. Every single panel had to be handmade and hand-beaten. Surprisingly, most of the bigger panels were intact. Most of the rust was in the sills and the corners. After that, the interior came out and the denting inside the car began, which included replacing the floor. The checkered pattern on the roof also had to go because I had other plans for it, even though it looked pretty damn cool. And so here is the result of the completed denting process. So after that, it was off to the painter to get the body prepped and primed. Obviously, we did not want to go ahead with the actual painting process because the engine and mechanical things had to be sorted first. The rain absolutely did not help in speeding up the process, but finally we got there and the body was primed and prepped, ready for the engine to go in. So here is the new engine. It replaced this old Suzuki 660cc engine. The new engine is a 660cc unit as well, but the difference is that this is fuel injected and it's turbocharged as well. As you can see, the space in the engine bay is pretty tight, so we had to do some custom work. We had to fabricate a custom inlet or an air intake manifold. Locally here in Peshawar, Arshad Usaz did it. He's one of the best, and here is the result. So after this was done, we painted the engine bay so that the engine can go in, but before that we had to dress up the engine a little bit as well with this combination of silver and red accents. The engine went in, but then was the all-important task of wiring the engine. I personally do not understand engine wiring at all, or body wiring, or wiring of any sort. So this was a nightmare for me, but good on these guys that they got it done fairly quickly and we were able to start the engine in about a week's time. So the moment of truth, opening up the battery and trying to turn over the engine for the first time. So this was pretty exciting, looking at the car rolling under its own power with the new engine. And so it's time to go paint. Fortunately, I couldn't make a lot of videos of the paint process, so there is a story. Yes, you can never go wrong with red. Even before I got this car, I had this vision of having a cherry red Austin Mini with the white roof. So then the final piece of painting, the bumpers went on. We had to put up the piping of the exhaust and other minor details, and then it was off to get the interior. So welcome to Ramak Mandi, one of the biggest leather markets in Peshawar and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So I decided to go with a red on red theme, red on the outside, red on the inside. So got some red carpets and red upholstery for the interior. So this red pleated fabric I bought from Karachi. This was my friend Farhad's idea. Obviously, he'll kill me if I don't mention this here. And the interior was done by Aziz Khan. He's supposed to so we had the red pleated fabric on the roofline, in the door guards, and on the seats, which I think really take a look. So then some final nitty-gritties were left. The speedometer obviously was analog, so it had to be converted to work with a digital engine and an ECU, and the final thing had to be was to put the Union Jack on the roof. I initially decided to have it painted on, but the painter refused to do it. I didn't think it was skilled enough, so I decided to go with a sticker, and I was really pleased on how it turned out. So there are other components to the build as well, so consider this as part 1 of the video, and I'll see you guys in part 2. Meanwhile, enjoy the finished product. Ladies and gentlemen, 1992 Austin Mini. So I hope you enjoyed this in-depth, in-detail video of the Mini's restoration. This is part 1, a part 2 is soon to be followed, because I did a lot of other upgrades such as the intercooler, the radiator, and the rims and some other stuff. So like, subscribe, share this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.